Hello and welcome back again to Lemmings Plus II. So we were up to nice level 11 before, and this one is Fun with Lasers. So this one was made not to test out the graphics set itself, but to test the one-way fields, which we saw earlier in Capsule Run, but this level is a bit more complicated than that. So in this one, as you can see, we've got, if you look closely in the middle, you can see a flashing arrow that shows the direction of them. And so you can't get through the exit, you've only got builders, so you can't try to go under it. So it's sort of a go the long way setup. Now as you can see, okay, you can't see it there because I frame skip, well not frame skip, that's sort of time skip, I don't know, I hit the space bar, we'll go with that. But as you'll see soon enough, builders actually bounce off one-way fields that are facing the other direction, so they act more like blockers than like walls, except one-sided. Okay, you might see it here, maybe not since it's quite crowded in there. No, okay, well you definitely see it here, I think. I don't know, I think this builder's actually going to run out right as he hits it. Oh no. So you saw there, he was turned around when he hit it. Obviously he didn't quite hit it mid-build. Okay, this one should show it. If you watch closely this builder here. Yeah, there. As you can see, he turned around when he hit the one-way field. Those are used, they're not used too often, but they come up now and then throughout Lemmings Plus II. And so we're on to level 12, which is Cactus Island. This one looks fairly simple, but the catch is you've only got blockers, builders and bashers for this one. Name was pretty obvious naming there. And it's actually a very similar name to the very final level of this pack, which we'll see when we get to it. So basically you can't get down, you can try a direct drop into the exit, but otherwise the easier way to do it is just go the long way around and come back. So that's another level down. So on to level 13 now, which is called Watch Your Lemmings. So it's quite a simple layout. You may notice a little thing here that looks suspicious. It is indeed a trap. Now the reason behind the level name is that in the pre-Neolemmix version, these traps were completely invisible, so you'd only know they were there if you ran into them. And since that's kind of unfair in the more recent updates, or when I sort of slightly upgraded the quality of the graphics set, I made these stand out a bit more, so now you can generally see when there's one of these traps around, basically. And with that in mind, there's not much else in the way of challenge to that level, so we're on to level 14, which is the pot plant level. Fairly obvious logic behind naming it, and fairly simple level. Now I've got quite close to the border here, so you can just build into it. Obviously that wasn't the case before Neolemmix, it was endless space, so you had to use blockers or creative builders. But yeah, it's just another standard workery level really. Which brings us on to level 15. So this is our once per rank level. It's called Floater Frenzy. So in this iteration we've got 80 lemmings, 60% to be saved. The other iterations differ on the save requirement. They also differ on the release rate. It's sometimes 95 or 75. Time limit's always the same, but it's one of those levels where you will never run out of time. You'll run out of lemmings or finish the level first. So yeah, this is introducing the concept of a frenzy level. So you can't pause during a frenzy level, you've got to rely on speed for it. As you can see, if you try to pause, you get an oh no. You've also got another unique music. You can still use replays on them, fortunately, which is what we're going to do here. So in this one, you've got a bit of space, you've got quite a delay before the extra groups start coming in, which gives you a bit of a head start. You also got 60% save requirement, which is lower than most of the Floater Frenzy levels. And even then, as you can see, so like this was obviously right now it's playing from a replay file, but originally it was played by me actually playing the level. And as you can see, I'm missing quite a few here. The basic challenge of these is you've got to just be as quick as you can with your floaters. And as you notice, they've stopped coming here, so at the end you also get sort of a bit of a breather as you stop having to deal with so many at a time. The later floater frenzy levels aren't so nice in that regard. You also notice they do have 80 lemmings, not 100. It's basically because can't like have 100 floaters in the skill set, or at least couldn't back on traditional Lemmings. Now with Neo Lemmings you just have infinite, which is what the closest level in Lemmings Plus II actually does. It has 500 lemmings and gives you infinite floaters. Apart from that, it is basically just a souped up replay of Floater Frenzy. So on to level 16, which is these lasers aren't so fun. Which is, yes, it's a throwback to level 11's name, fun with lasers. And before we actually solve this level, I'm going to show you something with Lemmings Plus II, secret levels. Now this level happens to be one of the levels that's hiding a secret level. And how these work basically, which is why I'm going out this direction, is that there's a specific point in the level that when you get to it triggers a secret level. So it works kind of like, say, Ducks, Crash Bandicoot, Croc, etc. You just got to get to the right spot, and it doesn't matter what lemming you get there, you don't have to do anything when you get there, you just get there and you've got the secret level. So for this one it's up here somewhere. Bam! Found it. So we've found the secret level. So Nice's secret level is called To Lem or Not To Lem. It's a similarly massive level. And this one, you don't have an exit right near the entrance. You've got an exit on both sides. You can choose which way to go. I don't actually remember which way I went in the replay, but both ways are definitely well and truly possible. Okay, it would seem I went right. So to show you the left side, so it's not really anything challenging as such. It's just got a variety of obstacles to deal with. The other secret levels are a bit more focused on a single thing, whereas this one's just like sort of an open plan level where you can do however you like. And here come the rest of them. And yes, once you complete a secret level, it takes you back to the level you found it from. So yeah, that's basically how secret levels work in Lemmings Plus II and Lemmings Plus III and both of their bonus packs, except for one level in the bonus pack which has a unique way of accessing it. And Lemmings Plus III's bonus pack, Lemmings Plus II's secret levels are all that way. So now on to how to actually solve this level. So we've got 3 exits. All of them work, but obviously this one nearby is the easiest to get to. So I mean, the most obvious way to get to it is an over-the-top solution like this. It's actually possible if you really want to just go under this laser here. So on to level 17, which is Lemmings Getting Down. 100 lemmings, 90% to be saved, and originally this level was a bit easier than it is now. One of the updates sort of toned down the available skills a bit, up the difficulty. And it's still not an overly hard level. I mean, in general, the levels in the nice rank aren't overly hard. On to level 18, which is Mega Lemmings. So 20 lemmings. Now this one is a bit tricky. It's 100% required and a 2-minute time limit. But it's also not an overly hard level. You've only got 7 of each skill here. But as it happens, that's actually plenty, because all you really need to do is bash through them. You may notice they're a bit off colour, but they're basically just giant pixely lemmings. And to, like, sort of as a reference to both this level and to the official sequel Oh No More Lemmings, there's a level in the later pack in Lemmings Plus Omega called Oh No More Mega Lemmings, and it's pretty much what it says on the tin, more Mega Lemmings. Okay, so yeah, that level's more of an artistic one than a challengey one. So on to level 19, which is called Live and Let Lem, play on Live and Let Live. And this one's only 75 lemmings. But now, as you can see, this is actually pretty upping the difficulty. So we've got, if you remember how they've got the little pointy knob at the end, you'll notice this is a trap here. The other ones here aren't. And you also notice we start with a deadly drop here. Now the other thing about this level is there's another trap, a completely hidden one, just here, which is why we go under it. As you can see, there's a little trigger plate for it there. Now one nice thing is this wall here, Lemmings can walk right up it. So yeah, this level is one of the harder ones in the nice ranking, probably the hardest one in the nice ranking, but it's still pretty easy. And finally level 20, which is another purple level, Dungeon of Danger, 80 lemmings, 93% to be saved, which is 75 lemmings. Now the original intention here was actually 75% of 100 lemmings, but back when I made this I was using Lemedit, which won't let you set more than 80 lemmings in a level. And yeah, most of the levels I remembered, but this one I never got around to changing it to 100, and it sort of just stuck with being 80 since. No real plans to change it now. Since I mean this level is, even as is, it's not too challenging, but it's, I'd say not as hard as the previous level, probably harder than the rest of the nice levels. So you can tell this one here is another trap, this one isn't. Now the easiest way to deal with this bit is to just build over it. I'm not sure if you've got enough builders to come up here. I remember running out when I tried before, but that may have just been suboptimal execution. You can definitely come out this side and build up, but why make it that difficult when you can just do it like this? And it's 100% saved, more than the 93% we needed. So that's it for the nice rank. We'll continue this video series at a later time with the cheeky levels next. And until then, hope you've enjoyed this and have a good day.